And when I try to reach you, you're right next to me. I love singing. I hope everybody's doing well. I hope everybody's staying safe. If you're not, I hope everything gets better for you. I just want to do a random reading. Let's just see what comes out for the collective. I was thinking about doing like a little goal for super chats. I'm just trying to play around with the feature. Nobody is forced to give a super chat. Okay, so don't feel that way. However, if you want me to answer a question, yes, you can send a super chat and I will answer your question for you with tarot cards. Let's see. Okay, let's see what comes out for the collective. What does the collective need to know? What does the collective need to know? Let's see, what's the gossip? Okay, breaking cycles, okay. Ending harmful patterns, freedom from repetition, new beginnings. It stops with me. Well, that last statement kind of implies like it's like a generational thing, like like in my family, like my mother had a baby when she was a teenager, and then my grandmother had a baby when they were a teenager. I had a baby when I was a teenager, and I stopped having babies after a certain point. So it's like I ended the cycle. And then my sons, they don't have kids. I don't know if they ever will, but that's up to them. Breaking cycles, right? Status upgrade. This is not about me. I was just sharing a story about me, you know. I'm a teen. I am, when I still be, I'm older now, but I was a teen mom. So I'm just talking about that kind of cycle. That's what it made me think about. But there could be other types of cycles, like cycles of abuse, cycles of addiction, cycles of just ending patterns, harmful behaviors. Okay. Ooh. Okay, clout chaser, doing anything for attention, okay? We know people like that. We see a lot of people like that on the internet. Some people might think, no, I don't think anybody would think that about me. Doing anything for attention. Fame hungry, desperate for followers, anything for a like, you know? And then energy vampire. Very interesting energy, right? Draining connections, toxic influence, protect your energy, time to cut cords, which aligns with the breaking cycles. For some of you, you may have been dealing with people who were vampires to you, who were draining your energy. But then it's like you realize, and you're now discerning that the types of people who are energy vampires are the ones that will do anything, say anything to get attention from you. Because your attention is what they feed off of. And if you think about everything, I want to bring up stuff from the politics, but forget it. I don't want to talk about politics. You know, so some of you just like had the sudden realization that you're too good to be dealing with these types of energies. And this is where the breaking the cycles, no longer allowing a lower vibrational energy to have access to you. You basically, I don't know, it's like you're becoming a bodyguard of your own in a way, because this guy kind of looks like a bodyguard with the sunglasses and the suit. Like you're like putting up boundaries, you're protecting yourself. But it does say new achievements, improved social standing, lifestyle elevation, next level. But this could, with breaking cycles being next to it, it's like you leveling up. It's like you probably had some sort of realization or understanding that something, you've experienced the same shit over and over again, and you're starting to understand that you're the common denominator. And then guess what? That means you have to change. So that's what this understanding, this elevation is coming from. You moving away from energies where people may be wanting attention, doing things for attention, and then that attention is your energy. Remember what they say. I don't know if you listen to Joe Dispenza. I think that's his name. He's the person that talks about manifestation and law of attraction. And it says your energy glows. Your energy, Energy goes to what you, something about energy goes where it flows or some shit like that. So you gotta be careful, like where you're directing your energy to. Are you giving it towards things that aren't good for you, that end up having you depleted? Or are you putting it towards things that help you elevate, help you do better, be better? So this could be, some of you need to consider that if you're finding yourself in these situations where you're dealing with people who drain you, who take from you, don't give. They 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 always ask, but they never give. They want you to be around, be available to them, but they're not available for you. There's inequality in this type of relationship, because if there was, there would be no vampirism. Nobody will feel depleted, nobody will feel drained, and no one would feel like they have to protect their energy because they're not dealing with a vampire. But when you are and you feel like you're giving a lot of love, attention, even money, because they could drain your resources. Like I say, our energy is our currency, but so are the resources that we have, the physical, tangible resources that we have. And you could be drained in that way from people. So you may know who this person is. This is someone who does whatever they have to do to get attention from you. They may even do stuff in public or even online to get attention because they need that. They feed off of that. This is a side message. I don't think that's related to this. You know what's funny? Because I'm looking at this card and I'm trying to connect it all to what I've read so far. And, automatically it's safe to assume that it will go with status upgrade. But, sometimes when you're trying to do something good for yourself, you may be having things, situations, people coming to you, and they want to distract you from what you're doing, what you're building for yourself. So that may resonate. Like you may be trying to do something, but then this person may want something from you. Like you're like saying, oh, okay, like say, oh, you're like, oh, I want to go to the gym. Then the person's like, oh, but before you go, can you do this for me? Or can you do that? Or can you take me here or take me there or take me everywhere, and so that you don't go to the gym? Basically, is what they're trying to do, is trying to stop you from doing something. They're trying to distract you. Some people are like that. So some of you may be in the process of starting something new for yourself. And then you have somebody coming around wanting your attention, trying to divert you, because you may be wanting to level up. You may be wanting to upgrade your life in some way. You may be wanting a promotion. You may be wanting a raise, or you just want to start something new for yourself, a creative endeavor. It could be that. But this could be like breaking the cycles, is you cutting the ties with people, places, and things that have in some way siphoned your energy, taking it away from the things that you actually should have been focusing on. Yourself, your future, your security, your stability. Yeah, look at this past life. I don't know if some of you, this could be your past energy, because the past life card came out with previous connections, unexplained familiarity, soul memories. I've known you before. For some of you, you've already broken the cycle and now you're focusing on this. But then fake flex comes out too. So maybe you were dealing with someone who was a fake flexer. But you know what I get from this too? Because I saw the bottom and it kind of made me think I was going to say this, but then I saw the bottom of the deck and I was like, okay, it kind of confirms what I was going to say. Some of you may be like, may have been a fake flexer, or you may be like in this energy too, because I did bring up the law of attraction, right? And energy goes where your attention flows. Something, or energy flows where your attention goes. I think that's the quote. Hi, Peter. I think that's the quote. Energy flows where your attention goes. I think that's what the quote is. So somebody taking your energy away, trying to take your energy away because you wanted to upgrade your life in some way. You want to break a cycle. Maybe you're wanting to. Maybe your family, you grew up in poverty and you're like, I don't want that life anymore. Thank you so much, Peter. Same to you. Stay safe. Hi, Christiana. Hi, Christiana. Hi, Priya. So, past life. This is what you're doing. Maybe you're focused. You envision something for yourself, and you're like trying to fake it till you make it too. So you're trying to embody whatever it is that you're trying to do. Maybe this is something that you've done in the past, and now you're like revisiting it. If maybe it's like, I like to say past life could be like you lived in another timeline, like in timeline, I mean like in another century, like a different incarnation, right? But if you're someone who's gone through a lot of changes in your life too, the person you used to be is your past life and your current incarnation. So take it as it resonates, you know? So I'm not doing any readings, no free readings today. Sorry. So yeah, so some of you may be going back to doing something, and now like the fake flex, I know this is someone who's pretending to be rich, somebody who's pretending to have, and this could have been the energy too, but this could have been the energy, the clout chaser, the one that was siphoning, trying to take your energy. They may have been a fake flexer, you know? And you may have already moved on from them. And then now you like broke the cycle. You broke the cycle, and now you're heading into something where you're feeling more successful. You have better boundaries, or the advice could be that you need to create better boundaries to protect yourself from people who are inauthentic, people who will do anything for attention just to take your energy, take away your attention towards what it is you want to grow. If, like I was going to say, if you grew up in poverty and you're like trying to build something for yourself, this could even be your family. Your family may not be, some people in your family may not support you, and then they may end up trying to distract you or sabotage you in some way. Sometimes people do this unknowingly. You know, they do this subconsciously. Sometimes people don't realize they're doing that. But the thing is, regardless if they realize it or not, you have to pay attention to those signs. You have to protect yourself. You have to create the boundaries, and act like you got the Secret Service around you. You're gonna have to pretend like you have. Maybe that's too. Like, you gotta pretend like you got the Secret Service around you to protect yourself. Especially, our energy is so important, it's so valuable. We're in this incarnation for a certain amount of time. We want to make sure that we're living our life to the fullest, meeting our full potential, and realizing whatever our dreams are, like making them come to reality, manifesting our dreams to reality, creating the life that we wish or envision for ourselves, doing the things that we love doing. Because we're not here. I like to say, we're not here just to watch Netflix and eat Popeyes and watch YouTube. We were created for more than that, It'll be such a waste that, you reach your deathbed and you realize you didn't do shit with your life. You have nothing but regret. And the thing is, we're given this life one time. I know we could come back incarnate, but this lifetime, we have to make the best of it. And we want to make sure that we're doing everything we can so that when we reach the end of our lives, whenever that happens to be, we have no regrets, and we're proud of everything that we did, everything that we tried, and maybe even failed. But the thing is, at least we tried. That's the most important thing, But it's important too to protect whatever it is that you're meant to do, or protect whatever it is that you're trying to attain for yourself, because no one else is going to do it for you but you. Okay, I'm going to get off my motivational speech soapbox. Okay. Let's see what else the collective needs to know. What else does the collective need to know? Okay. Let's see. What does the collective need to know for the highest and greatest good? Ascension. You got ascension. Spiritual growth, higher awareness, next level consciousness, elevating myself. Some of you may be in the process of doing that, trying to release yourself from things that have been chaining you, like chained, have kept you chained, have kept you trapped. Releasing yourself from like we did have the breaking cycles card before, but yeah, behind the mask, hidden emotions, concealing true self, afraid to show reality, no one sees the real me. Some of you could be moving past that type of energy where you're now showing yourself, being authentic, showing who you are, not trying to pretend you're something that you're not. Now, we have breadcrumbing coming out with giving minimal attention, keeping options open, vague promises, never committing fully. Okay. So there may be someone who is, well, we were talking about, I'm sorry, I'm not reading any free questions. This is a collective reading, so no free questions today. Breadcrumbing, giving minimal attention, keeping options open, vague promises, never committing fully. Okay. Giving minimal attention. So we know what the breadcrumbs are. They just give you enough to keep you around, you know? They do what they have to do to keep you begging for more. For some of you, this could be a rebound type of relationship with temporary comfort, avoiding loneliness, quick replacement just to forget. So for some of you, it's so funny because all these cards are so like depressing and sad and just pathetic. Let's be fucking real. This shit is pathetic. This is pathetic. Look at this. Behind the mask, breadcrumbing and rebound. And then here we have ascension. The only way you could face some sort of ascension is to move away from this type of energy. Sometimes I know people can pretend that they're okay with what they're getting. Like they try to tell themselves, it's okay, you know, like, you know, sometimes maybe it's me, maybe I give more and maybe this is all the person can give me, you know, but maybe the person doesn't want to give you too much because they're still in the process of healing from something, or maybe you're settling for less because you're in the middle of healing from something that has already ended for you. Rebound relationships are when you've ended a relationship and then you kind of jump into another one, but it's not that serious. It's more like you try to get over the other person by getting under a new one. But it's like, you're doing yourself a disservice when it comes to this because you're not allowing yourself the time and space to heal. And sometimes this type of thing definitely screams insecurity. It screams lack of self-worth, you know? So someone may be needing to move away from this energy, try to do whatever they can to heal from the past situation and not put themselves in another situation that's going to be a repeat of what they just ended, you know? You know, spiritual growth, higher awareness, next level consciousness, elevating. Hi, Alpha. Thank you so much. Thank you, Alpha. So ascension. So some of you may be... Exactly. But the thing is like you have to be discerning. You have to be discerning. They all play the same script. You know, you just got to be aware of what the storyline is. If you're not paying attention to the story, then you're going to miss the plot, you know, if you think about it. If you really think about it. Now, with ascension, like you really, like somebody needs to look at things from a different perspective, a higher perspective. And that's when you ascend, that would require ascension. That will require awareness. So someone needs to be more aware of the situation that they're dealing with, you know, aware of what's going on. But most of the time it's internal because we could blame everybody else for everything that goes wrong in our life. But the thing is, we participate in it. We give people access. How could somebody fuck up your life if you're not allowing them to? If you have boundaries, nobody can fuck with you. If you protect yourself and you're aware of these types of energies, and then you won't give that anybody that power. Some people give their power away. For someone needs to realize this. Someone needs to understand this. This is where the elevation is going to come from. It's from understanding and awareness. Even being honest with yourself, because some people, and I'm guilty of this too. I will admit that we can lie to ourselves about certain situations, and think, oh, it's okay. This person this is all they could give. But yeah, maybe that's all they want to give. That's like asterisk, all they give, asterisk, all they want to give. If somebody really wants to give you more and they are capable of it, and even if they aren't, they will do their best. They will give as much as they could, This card, blind date. Wow. Okay. Oh my God, these cards are fucking falling off. You seen this? I'm sorry, I'm cursing too much. That's the energy. That's what I'm getting. But the thing is, excuse my language. I know I should not be cursing. But certain words just are stronger, and those F-bombs, they hit the spot for me. Now, blind date, surprise meeting, unexpected chemistry, awkward introductions, could it be love or disaster? All right, so two ways this could be read. Some of you move away from this situation. You see that you deserve better, and you put up boundaries. You're aware of all the faults within you, because it's not only other people. We have to be accountable for ourselves. We can't blame everybody. We to a certain extent are responsible too, by allowing those types of energies into our lives, our lives. Oh my gosh, Tan. Okay, but all right. So for some of you, this is somebody that you could have went on a blind date with. But if it's totally separate with you doing this ascension, you being aware and moving away, being more discerning and more aware of your own healing and taking charge of that, being more proactive with protecting yourself, your energy, and your heart, you could be going on a blind date, possibly meeting somebody new. These other cards came out, but oh yeah, and the bottom of this was glow up. Earlier today, I was doing a reading and the glow up card came out. And you see this light moving away from this lower vibrational energy that may have been making you look like caca, making you look not your best. Is going to allow you to look your best. It's going to it's like Venus coming out of the shell. You're like going to be renewed, like reborn, not a Venus. Okay. I made that up. Because in my mind, I'm thinking half shell. And then I put Venus together. And then my brain just went, pew, So when you ascend, you release yourself on like these lower vibrational energies. You start to look better. You start to look more attractive. And then, of course, you're going to feel more confident, too, because you don't have that negative energy dragging your ass down. And then you possibly might go on a date and meet somebody new, right? But the other card that fell out was this card, Unbreakable. So some of you, this situation or these situations, if you've repeated this type of behavior in the past, is teaching you how to be stronger, how to build stronger boundaries, how to be more resistant to certain energies, because you could build the boundaries up too, but sometimes we have to be strong, and we have to be very strong, and not be like, okay, I'll bring them down, just for you, no, you gotta maintain the boundary, but it says here, inner toughness, enduring hardship, strength through adversity, and nothing can break me. It's like not allowing whatever these situations in the past have done to do that to you again. It's like you're learning how to protect yourself, and even if you do go on a blind date, however it turns out for you, it's not going to break you. If the guy doesn't like you or the girl doesn't like you, you're like, and next, thank you, next. It was nice meeting you. Now, deuces. It could be that. You may meet this person unexpectedly. It says blind date. We know how blind dates work. Somebody hooks you up and then you meet a person up. You don't know how they look. But nowadays, how is that even possible? I don't know how people could do blind dates now. I mean, the way we have dating sites and social media and stuff, like how? I'll be honest. I'm like, no. I actually a long time ago when I tried I don't like those websites. I did try and I actually met a guy and I never had a picture on my profile and I met a guy. I'm not saying he was the greatest guy or he was a masterpiece himself, but it's possible for you to meet somebody without them knowing how you look, you know? You have to have a good game. I'm just playing. But anyway, that was a while ago. A while ago. A long time ago. But that's crazy. You gotta know how to talk to people, you know? You gotta keep them intrigued. They're like, oh, I'm so curious. Like, oh my God. Yes, I'm better than I sound. You know? But anyway, I'm just sharing that because I think it might be, I don't know if that was over a decade ago. Over a decade ago. So I don't know how someone can meet somebody without them knowing what they look like, but I digress from that whole thing. I don't know. I like sharing stuff like that. It's funny. My game face. Okay, I'm gonna see what else I could do. But yep, that's that. Ascension. Move away. Yeah. If it doesn't work out, just remain unbothered. But they say, like, drink your water and mind your business. That's somebody's job. I wish I could be paid to do that. Just drink water and get paid to mind my business, you know? Now, if it's involving me, I'm not going to mind my business. I get nosy as hell. Nosy as hell. Okay, let's see. Hi, Abby. What's not a joke? Okay. I'm not going to the life happens deck. Ay, coño. My cards. Look at this. We saw the Ascension card earlier, right? And look what card came out. Awakening. I like this. Awakening. And that's what you got to do when you're having a difficult time. You're stressed out. You're feeling overwhelmed and so much pressure. You just got to take a deep breath. And that's how you woosah. I'll give you a woosah tutorial. And you woosah as many times as you need. If you're ever feeling anxious, that's the best thing to do. Just breathe. Because I know sometimes we could hold our breath when we're in the middle of something. We're like, you gotta breathe. Remember to breathe. Breathe. Okay, let's see. What does the collective need to know? What life happens? Shadow self, healer. Healer, healing. Somebody could be a healer. Someone could be healing. Someone could be helping someone heal their shadow self. Or someone can be healing their shadow self. If I read this for what it is. Let me see. I think I gotta turn the light on. What else? Happiness. The cards are mixed up, but ooh, I like this because I looked at the bottom of the deck and it got needy, but in reverse. And some of my cards are reversed and others, let me see, are they all reversed or some of them? Some of them are reversed and some aren't. So I like that the fact that card needy came out in the reverse because it's indicating like somebody was like codependent. codependency. And that's tied to, if you really like think about it, codependency usually starts from when we're children. If you really think about that, because during our first 3 years, that's when we're completely dependent on our parents. This is when we learn how to trust. This is when we learn who will take care of us, who loves us, who will keep us safe. So those first 3 years are so crucial in child development, you know? So so usually codependency tends to happen around, I would say, during early childhood. I could be wrong, but the fact, I went to school to be a teacher. So the reason why I'm bringing that up is because you see, this is a child, like a kitten. It looks like a kitten, but then there's a lion. Well, a cat. It looks like a cat. It's a cat. But then there's a lion here. You know, so it's just making me think of like the little version, your inner child, and then this is who you are. You know, you may come off as being strong and fierce and powerful and basically like a beast. But then it's like inside, there's a part of you that wants to be loved, that wants to be cared for, that may be missing that. But the thing is, when you understand that part of yourself and we become adults, and now it's time for us to be the parents to our own inner child, you know? We're gonna be like, some of us can have our parents that are still living, but it gets to a certain point where there are certain things within you that you had to work out on your own. And if your parent is the type that you can talk to about certain things, then they could help you with that healing process too, if they're open to it. Some people don't have parents that think they did anything wrong, that they feel like they were the best parent. Some parents are the best parents they can be. But then we have some parents that aren't the best, you know, but delude themselves in thinking that they were the best. Some people grow up with parents like that. But when we become adults, we are responsible for our own happiness. We're responsible for taking care of our own needs. We can't be dependent on other people to do that for us. So from what I'm seeing, someone needs to heal their inner child, that part of them that it has that codependency, and take charge of their happiness. You know, somebody may need to go to like a therapist or a psychologist. I wouldn't say psychiatrist, because psychiatrists tend to give you medicine, but not really give you the therapy you need. So I would say like a psychologist, a therapist, a counselor, just someone that you can do talk therapy with so that you could process whatever you're feeling, you may be experiencing. If some people don't really believe in mental health care, sometimes you could just no, this is a collective reading, so only super chat readings. So someone may be in the process of, you know, someone needs help with this healing process. We're healing that inner child one. But the thing is, it could just simply be me telling you that that's something that, and this may not resonate with everybody because not everybody has this inner child wound, the codependency that need to be validated, that need to be taken care of, to be loved, to be seen. The validation, you have to understand, it has to come from you now that you're an adult. You know, we seek a validation in our jobs when we show up to work every day on time, when we fulfill our responsibilities, our duties. And then we get our evaluation. And then, of course, we get recognized. Oh, you did a great job. Or, you know, this is where you could do better. Or you think, yeah, you did awesome. You did better than expected. I want to give you more money. I want to give you a raise. Da, da, da. You know, that's the external validation. But sometimes you can't rely on external validation because, like the example of you going to work, that's a role you're fulfilling. That is you doing something for someone else. But the point is, you have to start doing something for yourself. You're responsible for your own happiness. No one else is. You have to do the necessary healing, get the necessary help if possible. And I know resources for everyone is not the same as it is in the United States, but there's like other things that you can do too that can help you. Like the easiest thing I could think of is that you can write in a journal. I love journaling. I have a journal right here that I write in. I write in every day, but lately, you know, because I've been really busy at work, I haven't really been writing. But I was using it first to write down like stuff for the channel, like things like doing readings and making notes for when I did full moon readings or new moon readings, and looking at the transits and stuff like that. But then I started doing my journaling. Doing gratitude journal helps too if you're like not being able to really focus on anything good in your life, and you feel like you need that, like what the dopamine hit from somebody else, that validation. You have to learn how to do that to yourself. I would say I know that this is an extreme thing, but like get addicted to yourself, addicted to knowing yourself, learning about yourself, taking care of yourself. And I'm not saying be selfish in the sense that you don't take other people into consideration, but sometimes you got to put yourself first. So you have to prioritize yourself. And that's what I mean. There's a way of doing it where you're still a balanced person. You're not an asshole or inconsiderate, but you're still putting yourself first. There's a way to do that, But the most important thing is doing the necessary healing, having that realization that there's something that needs to be healed within you. But now you could reverse this. This may not even be you. This could be somebody else that you're dealing with. You may need to tell somebody this. I'm not going to be your source of happiness. You have to create it for yourself, and you have to do whatever healing you need to do. Some people don't want to hear that. They want to hear that, oh, you're going to fix my problem or not? Yeah, you're not? Okay. Oh, I guess I'm not worthy. Then they start that whole thing like, like the whole emotional manipulation thing, because some people can become emotionally manipulative when they don't get their way, and hopefully it doesn't come to that extent. But yeah, that's what I'm getting with these cards, Oh, thank you, Tanya. I appreciate the compliment. Okay, let's see. Let's see if anything else comes out. Thank you again, Alpha, for the super chat. I really appreciate you. Okay, now I'm going to go into the message of love deck. Let's see what messages we need to know. What was I talking about? Look, it's unsatisfied. I wasn't happy the way things were going. Okay. Let's see. Someone's unsatisfied. Someone doesn't like the way something's going. What else? The way it's phrased is past tense. I wasn't satisfied with the way things were going. I wasn't happy with the way things were going. Gossip. I'm afraid of what other people will think. Escape. I left when things got hard. Hopefully you weren't in the bedroom. I just played. Anyway, and shadow side, you made me realize my flaws. Sometimes people can't face themselves. That's why they have to run away. But the gossip card, that's different. Secrets, I haven't told you everything. Okay? I haven't told you everything with secrets. Let's clarify. I want the other deck. Where is my other deck? I thought I brought it with me. Oh, I got hidden tricks cards. Wait, I thought I brought the other deck with me. Those are my angel cards. That. Let me see. I'm looking for my another deck I thought I brought. Let me see. I don't think I did. Okay, I guess I'm gonna use. I prefer. I wanted to use the other deck, but I guess I'm gonna work with the regular tarot. Unsatisfied. Should I do that? Okay. So let's see what this unsatisfied is. If you're new here, my name is Tan. Welcome to Artemis Oracle. I'm an Oracle and Tarot card reader. If you have a question, I'm only answering super chat questions. If other than that, I'm doing a collective reading. I've already done 3 readings so far. I'm on my 4th one, and this is a love reading right now. So let's see what's unsatisfied. Tell me about unsatisfied. I don't know, there's a mother figure, Empress energy, Taurus, Libra sign that's unsatisfied with something. Yeah, I was telling you it was past tense. I think somebody decided, they made a decision about something. That was, it could be a mother figure, it could be someone who has a child, someone who is pregnant, or it doesn't necessarily have to be that. It could just be a divine feminine, a feminine energy that is making some sort of decision because they're not happy with the outcome of a relationship. And it's funny, the world card came out, the world. That's indicating like Venus, I want to say Venus because, and earlier I was talking about Venus in a half show. That's so funny. Or Venus. Me saying that made me think about Billie Eilish. Okay, so somebody got blonde hair, like fair skin, blue eyes, light hair, or light colored eyes. We do have the angel right here with blonde hair, and then we have the empress with blonde hair. That may be significant. Somebody could dye their hair blonde or just be natural blonde. Even the world card has somebody that's blonde. Think about Billie Eilish for some reason. Okay. Yeah, the members' energy made a decision to end something because they were not satisfied with whatever they were dealing with. The empress is somebody who embodies all the queens, if you think about it. But not always. Not all divine feminines are empresses. Empresses, that's something you attain to. You work for that. You know? So maybe we were born empresses and throughout our lifespan we lose that title. And then we have to fight for it back. You know, but there's not only one empress in the world, there's many empresses. And we're, you know, like my life is my world and I would be the empress in my world. If I get married, then I will become the empress in that person's world, you know, and that person will become my emperor. That's how it works. Or, you know, but remember there's feminine and masculine. If there's 2 dudes together, one of them has to be the feminine and one of them has to be the masculine. There are 2 chicks together, one of them has to be the feminine and one has to be the masculine. This is where the balance is coming from, you know? So there's someone who is not happy with the situation and has decided to end it. They were like, okay, final call. Yeah, this is over. Done. Dun, 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 dun. Somebody's done. They're done. Usually if someone's not satisfied with the situation, it's because there's something lacking. Certain needs weren't being fulfilled, or someone wasn't matching a standard or expectation. All right. What's the gossip card? So we have Scorpio, Taurus, Libra, Aquarius, Leo, and Aquarius, Leo, and I already said Scorpio and I already said Taurus. And then Taurus came out gossip. Hierophant. I wonder if people were dealing with someone who has different, like their families don't get along, or they have different religions, different cultures, different practices that negate each other. Because with the gossip card, I'm afraid what other people would think. And then we have the Hierophant coming out. Usually, Hierophant is about traditions. Usually they say it's about commitment too. Somebody is thinking, I don't know, if somebody's worried that somebody's not going to be accepted or won't be accepted. And that's why there could have been some dissatisfaction in a relationship. But someone, you know what I'm getting? I feel like there's somebody who's like running around trying to please everybody, but then somebody still was left unsatisfied. So the person is like saying, I'm afraid of what other people will think. I think they were worried about what other people in their family would think, or their community would think, or their religious sect would think. Take it however it resonates. But it's like they were living, I don't want to say a double life. They were like trying to be whatever the Empress wanted them to be, but then trying to fulfill their duties as the son or whatever. Okay, no, just so everyone knows, I'm not doing any free questions, all right? So if you want me to answer a question, you can send a super chat. If not, you can watch this free reading. Okay. So yeah, the Hierophant with the Knight of Wands. I feel like somebody was going back and forth. Like they were trying to like fulfill their duties, their duties with their family, but then they were trying to keep another person who was not part of the family, not part of the religion or community, trying to keep them happy. But then ultimately the Empress energy is like, you know what? I don't think so. You know, you could go. It's okay. It's okay. I'm not happy here anyway. You know, you're not giving me what I want, you know? I don't know if this person was also being deceptive, because I had the King of Swords that came out in the reverse, but it could just be somebody wasn't really being very clear, making necessary choices, communicating clearly. Maybe they weren't communicating to their family. They were being dishonest in some way because they were afraid of what other people would think. With the Escape card we got, I left when things got hard, you know? So for someone, I think the runner is the person that was afraid of what other people would think. They were like, this is getting hard. And I made a joke about, hopefully not in the bedroom. You weren't in the bathroom. You weren't in the bedroom. Maybe you were in the bathroom, but not in the bedroom. Someone is like, yeah, I can't do this anymore. Like I gotta put up my boundaries. It could be the person too was like, maybe it became too much for them, and then that's what made the Empress unsatisfied. Oh my gosh. Somebody is... Now I got it. Thank you, Spirit. Somebody doesn't want to disappoint their mother. Somebody doesn't want to disappoint their mother. I think that someone ended their relationship with somebody because of their mother. Yeah. I left when things got hard. With the Seven of Pentacles, yeah, somebody put their guard up against someone's protecting like themselves, or they're protecting the heart, or someone. But you know what's funny? All these cards show feminine energy, but the Secrets card shows a masculine and a feminine. Because they're unsatisfied. Gossip. Men gossip too. They may call it a different thing. And then Escape. Now I'm getting another thing. For some of you, the person may have... Oh my gosh, this is so specific. And I don't know who this is for. Somebody probably ran away with the person that they loved and may have disappointed their mother. It could be two things. Someone ended a relationship because of their mother, or there's someone, or like, you know what I'm thinking? Like, what do you call it? Those when you get married, like eloped. Somebody probably did that. That's a side message. I don't know why I'm getting that. But with someone's... It could be two things, but like someone to do that, you have to be freaking brave to do that. You know, to be like, forget about this family, forget about this whole thing. I'm gonna marry who I love. You know, I'm standing my ground, and I'm going after what I love. Maybe somebody like if their feminine energy decided to move away because she's like, this is too much. I'm not happy with the situation. You know, your mother's interfering. She's always making her judgments, you know, about me, and That could be the mother could have caused a breakup. But with the seven of wands and the knight of cups, maybe somebody was like, you know what, I have to protect what I love. It could be like, it could be so many different situations. Okay. Oh my gosh, chariot card came out. I feel like if somebody moved away because somebody interfering with the relationship, and even somebody, maybe the mother didn't, was worried about, yeah, mothers are like that sometimes. But I'm gonna have to go on a bathroom break right now. So I don't know if I'm gonna come back or not. Because I could pause this and then you could wait for me and then let's see. You know what? I'm gonna keep it on, but I'm just gonna go. I need to use the bathroom. So I said bedroom and then I'm like bathroom. I'm like, yeah, I gotta go to the bathroom. So I'll be right back. I'm gonna just mute this and Thank you so much for waiting. Thank you. Um, let's see. Oh, Lordy Jesus. Let's see where I left off at. So I don't know for some of you if you had a mother or hi Mia. Okay, so a mother figure that interfered with a relationship caused somebody to move away. Somebody moved away from the mother figure because she was just interfering with the relationship in some way. But it's like somebody may be chasing after like their happiness, going towards what they want, defending, standing their ground when it comes to their own happiness, escaping like the grip of like a very judgmental, overbearing mother figure. Some people have that, you know. But you know, what's interesting though is I slid the card and the card that came out was commitment. I just slid the deck to move it over, to shift it. And that was basically at the top of the deck because at the bottom we have secrets. But what's interesting is that the shadow side is like, you made me realize my flaws. Maybe somebody didn't realize their mother had so much power over them. And, you know, in a way, if you allow your parents to have too much power, and I don't have a lot of subscribers from India, and that's a different dynamic from America, you know? So, but I think the sentiment is the same, that when you reach a certain point, you should be able to choose who you're going to be with, who your partner is, who you're going to marry. But I know certain cultural practices, it's different where, you know, you may have arranged marriages. So I have to be sensitive to that because not everybody's coming from the same culture, same country as I am, where we choose who we marry, who we love. You know, we're not forced to be with someone that we don't know. But that could be something for some of you that may relate to. But the shadow side is like someone maybe not realizing that they haven't been making their own decisions, that they've been relying on their parent or their mother figure to be making those decisions. But also, if it's not a mother figure involved, and the only reason why I brought a mother figure because the Empress, and I did say the Empress is a mother, you know, she's someone who creates, usually sometimes has children. Some mothers are not, some Empresses aren't mothers. But if it's not that, my hands feel dry. And I don't have hand lotion in here. Great. So I probably shouldn't with my cards anyway. But if it's not that, it could just be like a divine feminine was not satisfied with a situation because maybe somebody was more concerned about what other people would think about their relationship. And I did bring up family, someone and tradition with the Hierophant, you know, like maybe somebody was worried about how their family or community would think. If there's like a difference in religion, difference in culture, even difference of skin tone, you know, maybe somebody was trying their best to keep people happy, but in the long run, it still forced somebody to move away from the situation, get away from the situation, because the situation was becoming more and more difficult. Maybe there was a lot of adversary, there was a lot of arguments, a lot of conflict, interferences and stuff. But I feel like someone may be putting up the guard, but someone may, like this, whoever the situation is, someone's put up some sort of boundary, defending themselves, standing their ground. Maybe they don't want to return back to the situation. They're maybe blocking somebody off because they don't want to deal with the drama that came along with the relationship itself. And someone may be wanting to return, and the person's like, yeah, I don't think so, because, you know, whatever's going on there, you got to fix that. You got to move away from that before you could come towards me. Because why would somebody want to return to a situation that was stressful and made things difficult unnecessarily? So someone needs to first tackle that issue, successfully tackle it, because the Chariot is someone who charges past any obstacles, you know, and the person's like, well, you could try to charge past my boundaries, but are things going to be the same? Are they going to be different? Are they going to be difficult? Maybe someone doesn't want to deal with that and wants to go towards something that's a little more easier and less stressful, you know, which kind of makes sense. But someone may be manifesting someone back or manifesting someone to return. You know, does that make sense? Like, I want you to come back to me. Well, somebody wants somebody to come back. It could be either or. It's basically the same thing. But I wonder what the flaws were. What were the flaws with the shadow side? You made me realize my flaws. I'll show the card to you. You made me realize my flaws. So what flaws? What were the flaws? I kept the commitment card out. Now let's, this is taking a turn. Now, if we take the gossip card out of it, because not everybody resonates with the gossip. It may not even be that. It may not even be the family interfering. It may not be even culture or religion. Look at the Emperor card was flipped over, but I'm not taking it because it was flipped over from, I guess, from, I don't know if I flipped it. It wasn't flipped over while I was shuffling right now. But we saw the Emperor. Because you know what's funny? The Emperor, he's somebody who has a lot of control, you know? But then I see the Page of Cups, it came out in the reverse. And I'm not reading the cards in reverse, but I feel like it could be that. The shadow side is a negative. There's a lot of conflict. Maybe somebody wasn't giving enough love. Maybe someone wasn't as loving. And that could be where the Empress energy may have felt unsatisfied. Or somebody was unsatisfied with an Empress energy. You know, maybe because, yeah, somebody cut somebody out. Because the Queen of Swords came out when I said that. The Empress, sometimes, I'm going to be honest, sometimes some people can want more, and feel like they're not getting enough. And that could be the source of the conflict too. Somebody was probably asking for more than someone could possibly give, right? And that makes sense because somebody wasn't satisfied. But that's definitely where the conflict was coming from. You know, maybe somebody was emotionally immature, maybe inexperienced when it comes to relationships. I don't know if somebody was dealing with somebody that was younger than them too. I mean, the divine feminine usually isn't a teenager, you know, divine feminine could be a teenager. She was. What I meant to say, an empress is usually not a teenager. You know, so maybe the Empress energy was dealing with someone who was younger, who was less experienced, who had less to offer, and she was probably very demanding. And that's what the conflict could have came from. You know, and maybe the Empress, but it could be an emperor, it could be anybody, whoever was unsatisfied and wanted to move away and was asking for more than. That definitely was the source of conflict. Can't pour from an empty cup. Now I'm wondering about age difference. If age difference was an issue too, that's where someone was worried about what people would think. You know, it's funny because this is a side story. And the only reason why I'm thinking about that now, and this is coming up to my mind now, is because I said earlier, that I have a friend that's significantly older than me. And I would not even, I don't entertain that idea with him because of the age difference, you know? So I'll be honest, the reason why is, well, my sons, if I was in a romantic relationship with this kid, right? He would fall in between my two sons in age. So he would be like my middle son in a way. So, but the thing is also, sometimes I was like, well, how would other people perceive that? You know? So this isn't about me, okay? Because I'm not in a relationship. I'm not having a romantic relationship with somebody that's younger than me. But that could be the issue too. There's an age difference. The younger person may be like afraid of what their friends or family would think because they're dating an older woman or older man, and then vice versa, dating someone younger, a younger girl, a younger man or younger woman. We have those stigmas. They're like, oh, you're probably taking advantage of the person, like usually it's that. But we forget that sometimes people could be very mature for their age. And I'm not talking about teenagers. We're not talking about Epstein Island, okay? We're talking about adults, consenting adults, people 18 plus. Though I find it weird if an 18-year-old with a 36-year-old. That is so weird. I'm like, but see, this is like judgments, judgments from society and stuff, the hierophant, tradition, even though traditionally men were allowed to date or marry younger women, traditionally. So the stigma could be that there is a woman. It could be a woman that was probably dealing with somebody younger, dealing with a younger person. And she may have been like, maybe this is shadow side and the Queen of Swords. It could be a dude could be a queen, and, men embody both the feminine and masculine. Same thing with women. We have both. That's just the way it is. Okay. Yin and yang. Okay. The Queen of Swords with the younger Page of Cups. Maybe it was very demanding. That could be where the conflict was coming from. It could be that. Maybe she was demanding commitment. We do have the Hierophant showing up. Maybe she was demanding that. Look, the King of Swords is here too. So this is like the pair. But I feel like if it's a feminine energy, this person could have been doing the best they could, try to keep everybody happy, but it became too much. And that it could be why somebody ran away. And this is outside of the family, like running away from their mother. This is like running away from the older woman that they were dealing with. It could be that too. This is interesting. But it's funny, we have the Four of Wands at the bottom, and then we have the commitment card that came out. I want you to be a part of my future. Okay, so I feel like somebody is going to be racing after somebody that ran away. I don't know if this person's actually just emotionally immature or just inexperienced when it comes to relationships with the Page of Cups. But it could be that. It could be inexperienced with the Page of... Because we do have the Knight of Wands, and the Knight of Wands is so action-oriented. So in the beginning, I was saying that this person was doing the going back and forth, trying to please people, please their family, please whoever they were with. But somebody was still unsatisfied. But what's this commitment card? What is the commitment? I want to know, though, out of all this, I want to know, is commitment even possible in this situation? For some of you, this could have been a secret relationship with the secrets. I haven't told you everything. It could have been a secret relationship too. Maybe that's where the gossip and not wanting people to know because they don't want to be the subject of gossip. Got commitment is Four of Swords, and then the Four of, oh yeah. I got 4-4. That may be significant. Four of Pentacles and the Four of Swords. I think somebody, the shadow, I think it's the Queen of Swords. Someone, it doesn't have to be a Queen of Swords because the Queen of Swords is about energy. The Queen of Swords embodies the energy of honesty, seeing things clearly, being truthful, having integrity, but also being fair, So I feel like it doesn't have to be a Queen of Swords. It could be a masculine or feminine. It doesn't matter what your sign is. It doesn't matter what your gender is or whatever. I feel like someone gained clarity that the amount of love or the desire for more love was bringing more conflict, like feeling not fulfilled, emotionally fulfilled, because whatever somebody was offering was the best that they could under the circumstances. But then the desires for more, possible the demand for more love is like, why is the Queen of Swords like this? Why does she need more love? Maybe she's understanding that she's unsatisfied with herself, and that's why she may have been putting too much on somebody else. It could be he was unsatisfied with himself and putting something on someone else. But I'm gonna be honest, from my perspective, this is something that I think women do. Well, I think men too. I'm not, honestly, I'm a woman. I can't really speak for men, but I try to. And I need guys to let me know in the comments if that's the case, All right. But somebody definitely is holding back. Someone's standing the ground. Somebody is taking a necessary break because of this sudden realization that maybe they weren't being fair to somebody. Maybe they weren't being fair to somebody with the Four of Pentacles and the Four of Swords. That this time, this break, this escape is necessary for someone to reestablish or reevaluate something within themselves. There's definitely a need to change, because the Four of Pentacles is someone who stays where they are but not wanting to make any changes to grow. They're like, I reached where I feel I'm very much comfortable, but I don't want to take any more risks. So maybe the Queen of Swords may have been withholding and is having that understanding with this break. I don't know who escaped. It could have been a masculine or feminine. Mostly, it may have been a masculine, or that if this is a feminine energy, or it was like whoever. It's hard to tell, But soon, I think that with this realization and this break, is what's going to allow there to be like positive changes to come forward with the Eight of Wands. So I saw the Knight of Swords at the bottom. See the Knight of Swords at the bottom. Somebody could be racing towards letting somebody. We saw, like I said, racing towards, and then I see somebody ran away. Somebody's going to be like directing their energy to them. Like they're going to be chasing them, possibly messaging, sending messages, maybe taking certain actions towards the person who's already turned their back. Number 88. And I see 8 of Swords here with the Sun. Look at that. I feel like for some reason, I feel like that a break needed to happen. This is what happens. This is so cliche. It's so cliche. Because I feel like somebody's going to be like directing, like trying to get somebody back. They're probably going to be telling somebody that they love them and that they want them back, that they make them happy and stuff, that they were trapped in their mind, not seeing things clearly because they were so worried. And now that they know the truth, they want to have that commitment. They want that serious thing, or they just want to be by themselves. But I feel like somebody just is going to be racing towards the single energy, the isolated energy, the independent, financially secure, stable energy. But it depends on the situation, because the way these cards look, it's like the Sun is clarity, illumination, things coming to light, the truth being seen, no longer being blinded, no longer being blinded, seeing things for what they are, and then wanting to go after something that, like not, it's like this night is, like I said, the racing night, because he's going to be chasing after someone, because he doesn't want to miss out. But it could be a masculine or feminine energy, because women chase just as much as men. I could chase a dude. you know? That's if I want to. And I know I could chase a dude. So not, if I want to do it, I'll chase him, But that's not very ladylike. If you think about it, I'm supposed to be receptive, right? But I'm just saying that it could be both energies. Like it could be either or. Like whoever was not willing to commit because they were very much focused on what other people would think, and then the drama of trying to please somebody, or there was like so many messages that came out, and like I'm fucking confused right now. But it's like I feel like somebody is gonna be. Because I feel like somebody has a lot of anxiety about relationships. And remember I said the time was needed by themselves. Like there's a lot of burdens. Maybe somebody had past experiences where it was just like being in a relationship was stressful. It was a burden. They were left with many burdens. And there could be that somebody definitely needs to drop the burdens. The fact that I dropped the the 10 of Pentacles. Let me get this card. But then you have the 4 of Wands with the swords. So somebody definitely had past experiences, or maybe somebody could be moving away from a relationship because it was just too much burden, too much anxiety. Somebody decided to drop it and go solo. So it could be like commitment is possible, but depending on the situation, it may not be possible, because there's something that needs to change. Definitely healing with the Star card coming out, somebody needs to be aware of all this, that's the shadow side. But somebody I think is aware because of you made me realize my flaws. Somebody's aware of something that they need to change within themselves. But I think it's possible, but that's if both people want the relationship and both people are willing to work through it, communicate clearly, honestly, which is like, I always say this, like anything can happen just as long as 2 people are being honest with each other, transparent with each other. You can't have a relationship with secrets. There could have been secrets in the past, there could have been secrets that got in the way, secrets that may have come out because of gossip, But the thing is, if 2 people really want to be together, they will do whatever they have to do to be together. But that's only if they want to. If they don't, then what's the point? Okay. Hi, Teddy. Hi, Mia. Hi, Sanji. Hi, Gons. Okay, so putting those cards away. That reading took longer than it needed to, honestly. Let me see what time it is now. 7:14. I gotta leave soon. Let me see. I want to get an angel message card, and then I'm going to close out this reading. Okay. All right. I put these cards away. Just I'm gonna angel message card. The messages is collectively to know. My angel messages is collectively to know. All right, thank you all for being here. Thank you for liking, sharing, possibly subscribing. And thank you for the super chat, Alpha. I really appreciate you. Okay, what angel message does the collective need to know? What angel message does the collective need to know? Thank you, Spirit. That's what. Angel message does the collective need to know? What message does the collective need to know? What message does the collective need to know? What messages the collective needs to know? Healing rays. Healing is not linear. Healing happens today, not tomorrow. Angels of healing are surrounding you at this time. And in order to support their mission of guiding you to a state of wholeness, it's essential for you to move out of resentment and regret and into a state of trust. Trust in the higher powers that are surrounding you now. They are on your team, working with you, for you, and through you. And then as I support my own experience with healing. So we have healing rays. Okay, let's see the message at the bottom. Okay, this card came out earlier today, but I'll read it again. Orion, visions of the future. Your life and future are in your hands. You are a powerful manifester with the ability to call in and create the life of your dreams. What you focus on with unwavering faith is what you will experience. Focus your energy not only on what you want, but on feeling the way you want to feel. For the feelings are what will bring you the safety and connection you desire. The activation is, I am the visionary of my future. Remember earlier I was talking about like Joe Dispenza, that he talks about that quote, your energy flows where your attention grows. So it's important for you to focus on what it is that you want to bring growth in and not focus on anything that doesn't serve you, that is low vibrational, that is negative, that brings you down. Of course, we have things that we need to take care of in our personal life that is negative. But the thing is, it's like you just have to go through the motions of doing what you have to do. And then, but don't focus more so on how you envision it working out for you. Don't imagine how you envision it working out for you, right? Envision that and just keep doing what you have to do. You have to have faith. You have to trust that everything is going to be well, that things will work out, especially if you've experienced a lot of challenges in your past, then you already know what is possible. So focus on like being more optimistic, taking the necessary steps to address issues that come up that need your attention. Anything that doesn't require your attention and isn't your problem, move away from that. Do not make it your problem. Okay, if it does not involve you at all and it does not impact you at all, then you do not have to put your energy towards it at all. Keep your energy towards the things that you're responsible for, that you're accountable for, and what you envision for yourself, for your future, for your family, for your home, for your love, for everything. You know, you are the visionary of your future. Nobody else is going to make your future the way you want it to be, only you. But you have to be able to see it for yourself and take the necessary steps to make it happen for yourself. You know, and get the necessary support that you need with the angels or with other people who want the same thing too, who share your vision. Okay, so I'm going to end the live stream. I'm going to end the live. I'm ending the reading right now, Spirit. So thank you so much for being here. I thank you for your time, your energy, for your engagement. I hope to see you next time. I'll be on tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern time. And then I may be going on after work around 5:30 to 6 p.m. Eastern time. So I hope to see you then. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day or your evening. And I'm sending you lots of love. Take care, everyone. Bye.